Right guys, me again. Listen, whether everybody likes to admit it or not, we're actually at war. Not a war with guns and bombs and physical violence. I'm talking about a war for the very hearts and souls of all of us. Right, the first thing they do is they attack your soul.
I think a 12-year-old should be able to get a tattoo.
No. It's a pretty permanent decision. They can't make the decision for themselves. It has something permanent on their body.
Do you think a 12-year-old should be able to consent to puberty blockers?
Yes, and I understand that sounds really hypocritical. Yes, it's a permanent change on their body, but I think that at that point in their life, they probably know who they are, who they want to be.
Switch the passports and driving licenses. The immediate thing the government should do is it should make a statement reminding service providers these are not reliable records of people's sex, and if they want to know people's legal sex, they must ask for their birth cert. Because those can be changed, that they require a gender recognition certificate to change them, and only 6,000 people have those. So that's the immediate thing that they could do. But the World Health Organization is much worse even than what you're saying. They've got this incredibly biased panel of people who have a track record of making basically untrue statements about the evidence base for what they call gender-affirming care. That's where people cross-sex hormones and surgeries and children puberty blockers and so on. And one of the people on that panel has said we should be stopping all children's puberties. We should give all children puberty blockers so that they can use them until they're old enough to decide what they want to be.
And if they can't attack your soul, they'll attack your heart.
It's a puberty blocker. A puberty blocker? Are you kidding me? Are you crazy up there? Imagine putting these children, 13, 14, 15, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, what are some of the symptoms? These things. I don't think this goes well with childhood, any of those things, especially the bone density change. And in mood swings, childhood is hard enough.
And if they can't attack your heart, they'll attack your body.
It is concerning because we already know from past studies, and some of these were cited in the CAS reports, that there are concerns around damage to brain development, bone growth, sexual functioning, and we know that puberty blockers can act as a slippery slope towards infertility if children don't take cross-sex hormones, and the majority of them end up doing that.
After years of pushing cross-sex hormones and puberty blockers on vulnerable minors, kids under 18 bombarded with peer pressure, stories of social media transitions, and the statements of government officials that all drugs used in so-called gender-affirming medical care were reversible, we caught the politicized medical community admitting that yes, the damage these drugs inflict cannot be undone. In a September 2022 training session that was part of the Trans Medicine Certification Program, doctors discussed the impact these drugs have on limiting the body's reserves of calcium, the rewiring of the adolescent brain, future fertility, and the stunted development of necessary genital tissue. One said,
I think when we just say, oh, puberty blockers is just reversible and we just, it's a very non-invasive treatment, I would say it's more invasive than oftentimes the media makes it out to be.
Trans medicine is a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's experimental, and its consequences last a lifetime.
And then they attack your mind.
Back in 2004, my experience was about mental health work, and to me, it was just very serious clinical concerns I had about taking children too quickly to a medical approach, when to me it felt very obvious that there was a psychological developmental issue that should be addressed initially, and that medicalisation is something that certainly shouldn't interfere with adolescence and childhood development.
I don't know that a child can consent to a sex change, to a gender-affirming surgery. If you believe that, there's really nothing that you can believe they can't consent to, right? Because that's pretty extreme. That's permanent body modification under the best circumstances. So you want to move aside all the complications, all the things you can't do, the sterilization, not being able to feed your kids. You can even set that aside. Just the permanent body modification. I mean, you have to be so demented to believe that a child fully understands. I heard a few conversations about, well, if the child fully understands, they don't. They don't, because they're children.
But see, the thing is, though, some adults don't even understand what they want to do.
Exactly. But they're children.
But they're children. Let's not underestimate the power of these kids today, okay? They are very much more educated because they have much more resources and access and media.
Wow.
Let's be
So they're
very clear
advanced,
about
and they
that.
can consent.
I mean, when we mess around with the body's natural process of doing things, I mean, hormones, it don't just include like testosterone and estrogen, it includes a whole lot of everything that you need to help you grow into an adult. Without them, you're just going to be basically disabled when you're older. You just, sometimes you just got to let nature take its course. You can't mess around with stuff like that. You really, really can't, guys. I mean, it's just terrible. Well, thanks for watching, guys. And if you like my stuff, please like, follow and share so other people can watch my stuff too. Thanks, guys. Just a little bit of food for thought, guys. Speak to you soon.